So I'd like to welcome this morning Rob Ellsbury to our Lincoln Levers podcast. That's right, Lincoln Levers podcast. It's a pretty good rhyme, huh?
It is. I like it.
Rob, I know you came from Lincoln, and I'm not sure how long and when you worked there, but can you tell me a little bit more about your experience with Lincoln, and then we'll get to why you changed from Lincoln to Senior Life. But I'd like to know a little bit more about how long you worked at Lincoln. What did you like? What did you not like? What did you like about Senior Life? And then we'll talk about where you're at today. So when did you start in the final expense business?
So I started in the industry, roughly 2011, I think. And, I was a builder most of my life. The economy crashed and I had to find something different to do. And I say I kind of failed my way into final expense because I started with NAA, which was a company that did everything, wanted to, be everything to everybody and have all these different carriers. And it didn't work for me. The policies that I kept writing, I kept falling upon people that were in their 70s and just wanted small final expense policies. So I say I failed my way into it because I couldn't do none of the other stuff very well. And at that point, I got to looking for a company that just specialized in final expense. Came upon Lincoln. Seemed like it was a great fit. I was there in 2012, and everything was going pretty good really for a while. I had built up a team within a short time doing about $80,000 a month. But I kept bumping into issues as I was trying to grow. And especially in Florida where I'm at, Lincoln Heritage territory is cut that apart like a puzzle. So I couldn't hire people an hour north of me or an hour and a half east of me. I was just trapped in a very small territory that I could either work or build and recruit to build a team in. But I had a team doing 80,000 out of that area. And I remember being on vacation with my family in South Carolina. We're in a lake house that we had Airbnb'd or something. And I had told my wife, I said, I wish I could find a company that was like Lincoln, just specialized in this, but wasn't so limited. And that's when I had come upon an ad that was running, and I called the company and got hold of you, and the rest is history.
It's really an interesting story how you came about the Senior Life. And, I've got to share this because I think it's important. Is we were going on a convention. Senior Life was having a convention. And I was driving to get on the boat, and I challenged you to meet me on a Saturday on my way down to get on the boat. Now, my point there is that I challenged Rob, would he drive to come meet with me on a Saturday? And I also, me as the president of the company, met with him on a Saturday on the way to the trip. I think there's two important things there. The point I'm making is that you've got to do more than others if you're going to be successful.
Absolutely.
That's the bottom line. But, I interviewed you and you interviewed me on a Saturday there. Both of our wives were there. And it's really been a great ride and a very interesting story to see you go from basically yourself when you came with Senior Life to where you're at today, producing over $2 million a month. And I couldn't be more proud of you, but, I understand you said the territories were holding you back. Did you ever think, and I'm sure you did, that you were going to be stuck at a certain level at Lincoln when you were so far down in the downline?
Oh, I was. I tried to get my upline to give me a little bit of an increase in contract. I was on a 90% contract. And, I'll just tell you real quick, my upline was Larry Moore at the time there, and he was, my last month there, he did $120,000 in production, and I did 80 of that. And had been that way for a while. And I had tried to get, 5 more points. And he just like, nope, there's no more room. There's no more room. I said, well, what happens if I, get up to doing 250? Doesn't matter. you're already are. There's no room for an increase. So, I mean, I was doing 90% of the group on that, and, I was stuck. I mean, there was no room for increase in contract, no room for growth. And proof of it is he's still doing $120,000 10 years later, where I'm at $2 million
a month.
a month.
You know, and I cut up with you all the time that I don't think you pitching a lineup, you would have been the person that someone would have chose to say that man can do it or that man's going to be successful. And I would be the same way. I don't think me or you, either one in a lineup, they would pick either one of us. And my point is that you can't judge a book by its cover.
Absolutely.
And you don't know what somebody really wants from the inside. And, you know, yes, you passed my test on that Saturday. And obviously I passed your test or we wouldn't have came to work. But, you know, it's really important to me that the people that I work with, that not only do we work hard together, but we become friends. You know, I don't want to work with people that I don't enjoy to work with today. And I don't have to do that at this point. I've done it before, but I don't have to. You know, and it's, to me, if I wouldn't have you over to my house to eat dinner, I wouldn't hire you. And you're talking about going from ground zero to $2 million a month. And you've had some things going in your life since you've been with Senior Life, like anyone else, that has got you sometimes taken away a little bit from the business because you had to, you know, such as your daughter-in-law that just passed away. But a man or a woman's got to hit whatever ball's thrown at them. And that's what I see that you do, and where I think you're really good at is in your people. You know how to treat people. You know how to talk to people. But what is it that drives you? What is the, okay, you've said Lincoln is not good as Senior Life, or you wouldn't have came with us at that time. That's what you put in your mind. But what, besides the territories, what are things that you feel that we do that others don't that makes a big difference? You know, there's not many people in America that's wrote $2 million in a month in final expense premium. There's really not. There's probably less than 15 or 20. I mean, you're in a class of an elite that there's not many people done it.
You know, talking about, 10 years ago when I started here in 2013 and had left Lincoln at that time and came here, I wasn't 100% sure. And when after we had met and had lunch that day with our wives, when you guys got back from your trip, you asked me to come up to the office. And I come up to the office and, I drove 6 hours to get here, which ain't a terrible drive, but it's a pretty good drive. And when I get here, I pull into an old broke down Piggly Wiggly grocery store that was abandoned.
I forgot about that.
And I take a tour of the place, and it's these plywood walls, and it looks like some back alley scam going on. We're ready to slip out the back door. So I was really kind of disturbed that I drove 6 hours to this kind of an outfit.
You never told me that.
Oh, yeah. I was ready to go to the house.
You never told me that.
And, but I got to take a tour of the building, and with my construction background, getting to walk through here while it was under construction was really cool to me. And when I pulled up here and got to walk through, just the awe of the whole place just made me realize that here's a place with a vision. And if you don't have a vision, what happens? People perish, right? They're gone. So there was a huge vision in here that I just bought into. I knew that this was something that I could sink hold of. And, I had very specific goals. I was at a below broke point in my life when I got into the insurance industry because of the way the economy crashed. And I never wanted to be back in that position. And, but what really drives me, what I like about the whole thing in a whole, I mean, we at Senior Life, we have everything we need to be successful. If you're not successful here, it's just because you're not working. But what I get out of it more than anything is that I've been here 10 years. I've got $1 million income. Would have never happened at Lincoln. I've hired people that have over $1 million income. This month alone, we've got a young lady from South Carolina, grew up in a small little town, made over $80,000 for the month. We've got another young man in North Carolina, made $46,000 this month. Have another young lady made over $50,000, and I can go on and on. We've got a lady who was an agent 7 years ago, came on board. She was making $40,000 as a professor. Got 2 master's degrees. Never owned her own home. 60 years old. Tomorrow, actually, she's having a housewarming party and has 120 agents from around the country coming to her house tomorrow for a housewarming party in Augusta, Georgia. That's what drives me. I mean, what I've accomplished is great, but to see the help, how we have helped these other people succeed and change their lives, that means more to me than anything.
You know, it's I agree with you, and I know who you're speaking of there, and I know some of those individuals, and it has changed their lives. You know what's pretty cool also, at one time, you had someone underneath you making more than you were making.
Absolutely.
And, you know, that normally don't happen at many places. But you have $1 million earners underneath you. And you have people making $20,000 a month and $30,000 a month and more, $40,000 and more in renewals and pay-throughs. And it's exciting every month when that 5th comes around. But, you know, you've done an incredible job. You've got an incredible team. And, you know, we do have a great opportunity, and you've took advantage of it. As I would tell anyone, I don't micromanage anybody. You know, there may be times that you don't hear from me. You're thinking, well, does he even care about me anymore? You know, I'll leave you alone. And I think you work better under that arrangement because you know what you want to do and what you want to accomplish. And what I've learned about Rob is it's a no nonsense. It is what it is, and we're going to get the job done or you're not. And I think that you've cast that in your organization, and I think that's why you have a lot of people that are successful, because you do hold them accountable with no nonsense, and it is fun to go to your meetings. I like going to them, and like I told you last week, I want to go to your next 1 or 2 meetings. So, you know, it's an exciting thing to see someone like yourself, like myself. We both started with zero. You know, you said you were broke. I was broke when I started in this. And I tell people a lot of times, that's a great thing if you're broke, because if you get in this business, you can change your financial picture. Whereas if you go to work at UPS or FedEx, it may be a good job, but it is a job. How are you going to pull yourself out of the hole? You know, so I took the broke for me, and I use that as an advantage because I don't like being broke. Do you like being broke?
No fun.
And it's no
fun.
fun.
On both sides of it. I like this side a lot better.
You know, and it's fun to see people succeed, and you've done a heck of a job, and you've done it. Nobody's done it for you. You've done it, and you know, me and you've been talking over the last few days. I don't think you're even close to where you want to be.
No.
And I can't wait to see you get to writing $5 million a month, $7 million a month, $10 million a month. Your business will grow to whatever level you want it to grow to. It's in your hands, you know. And when we talk about leaving Lincoln, what I would summarize this in saying is that, number one, you had no opportunity. It was compressed. Number two, you couldn't hire agents 50 miles from your house because of a territory. Number three, which is something we didn't really talk much about, and there's not much to talk about, at a 90% contract, your renewals at Lincoln they probably not existed. They were so low. Number five, or number six, whatever the number is, you found an opportunity that fit what you wanted to do, and you made it work. And, you know, thank God that you left Lincoln, because if you'd have stayed there, you'd never, ever got out of the hole. it just wouldn't happen because you were compressed. But you're doing a great job. I'm proud of what you do for senior life. I want you to turn it up even more. And I know you can, and I look forward to seeing you and your organization here in the next few days. But I look forward to seeing you guys doing $5 million a month in the next 24 to 36 months.
Absolutely. I'll tell you this too, that talked with a young man from Lincoln yesterday, doing a good job over there. And I ended with him talking, I told him this, I said, you know, in 10 years, look at where I was at in 10 years ago, where my leader upline at that time was still doing the same thing he was doing 10 years ago. And I told the young man, I said, in 10 years, you're going to look back at this opportunity that I presented you with, and you're either going to realize that you're glad you listened to the opportunity, or you're going to wish you had, because you'll never get a 120% contract. You'll never get a 130. You'll never get a 140, and you sure will never get a 150 like I've got. So you're either going to wish you had left or be glad you did. And that's what I left talking with the guy.
And that's kind of what I tell people. And it's fun when I see others say that there's no such thing as a 150. You know, my nickname now is Mr. 150, and I like that, and I'm proud that's my nickname.
Well, mine should be that too then. I should share that nickname with you.
There you go. It is true.
Absolutely is.
You know, so it also goes back to your belief system. You have a strong belief in yourself and what you want to do, and you knew where you wanted to go and take this, and that's what you've done. You've built a huge business, $2 million a month in final expense premium. There's not many people that's ever done that, and I'm so proud that you have, but I want you to up $3 and $4 million a month, $5 million a month.
$5 million coming.
Let's do it. Senior life.
All your life.